Hello everyone, I'm Antom64.
And I'm SonicMovies.
My name is Sky.
No, I'm FDA.
And welcome to the HellfireComms playthrough of Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Now, as you can probably tell by Steven and the Sky back there trying to do a serious take for once in their lives, we have 4 commentators for this playthrough. That's a new record. Usually it would be a clusterfuck, but I thought, since this is the first Sonic playthrough of 2013, and also because this is pretty much my favourite Sonic game, at least of the 2D variety, we'd kick off the year in a special manner and whatnot.
I will say, anyone who doesn't know, there was an alternate opening to this game where, instead of flying on the tornado and turning super, Sonic surfs up to Angel Island. I have no idea why they took it out, because it was funny as fuck.
Okay, Sky, you want to explain what Sonic 3 and Knuckles is all about?
Sure, well basically, Sonic 1 and 2 came out, and those were great. So Sega said, okay, let's make another sequel. But they were going to make this bigger and bolder, and they didn't have enough development time to work on it. So what they decided to do was release one half of this game in February of '94, and that was Sonic the Hedgehog 3. And so they would work on the other half of that game and put that out in October of 1994, and that was Sonic and Knuckles. And Sonic and Knuckles came with a little flip top on the top of the cartridge where you could plug in Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and you would get this big 4 megabyte adventure known as Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
On disc DLC.
Yeah, it was. This is Sega being douchebags before Capcom were. Fuck you, Sega.
You could actually plug other things into the top of the Sonic and Knuckles cartridge, like...
If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Sonic 1, Sonic 2, where you could actually play as Sonic 2 with Knuckles, which was pretty interesting.
They tried to do it with Sonic 1, but apparently the red of Knuckles' shoe didn't fit well with the color palette of Sonic 1, so it had to be dropped.
So they just said, fuck it.
They did! They were like, fuck it! I don't give a fuck.
We have a color palette that we always stick to.
Well, no, actually, the color palette, Sonic's color palette changed slightly between 1 and 2. So there was a slight difference in the color palette, but it wasn't really noticeable. It just kind of fucked them over when they came to try and import Knuckles into 1.
This is the first time that when you get a Chaos Emerald for the first time, it's actually green. And so it kind of like makes sense.
Wow, getting the colour of an actual emerald.
Yeah, right? Hello.
Although this would be the game that 3 and Knuckles would be the game with the emeralds actually transition from actual emerald cut to diamond cut. So this is really the last game where they should be called the Chaos Emeralds.
They brought back the original cut for the Soul Emeralds in Rush Adventure, though.
Yeah, but those are the Soul Emeralds, that's not the same.
One thing I love about Sonic 3 and Knuckles is that at a lot of times it takes what people expected in a Sonic game and turns it on its head. Because obviously in this one we start with like a green level, like Green Hill and Emerald Zone. But after a minute, Sega's like, fuck that shit, and they set it on fire. Which, I think that is genius on their behalf, because that's clearly intentional.
It's kind of funny if you think about it in terms of the story. Robotnik and Knuckles are meant to be working together, and then Robotnik's like, fuck it, I'm just going to set your home on fire. It might smoke out Sonic at some point, but whatever.
Exactly. There isn't a moment where we see Angel Island get the fire get put out. So we should just assume that to this day, Angel Island's still on fire. And it's ironic because it's right next to fucking Hydro City, so it could easily be put out. But it's like, fuck it, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, Knuckles could probably just push the entire zone into the water.
Angel Island zone is currently on fire.
What, that island's carrying a fire? Because that makes sense.
Why aren't you getting the rings, man? You aren't getting the perfects. This run is abysmal.
Now, here's the thing here, actually. Back in the day, I always thought you would go faster if you collected the rings. I didn't know anything about continues and whatnot for 3 and K at least, so I actively avoided them, and I guess that trait just carried over to these runs.
I will say, like Skylar, you probably being a retro staff member, you freaking nerd, might know the answer to this. But is there a reason why halfway through the stage you speed up for no reason?
Just to add to the challenge, I guess.
It's the longer you stay in, the faster it gets. It's supposed to get harder, basically.
Gotta go fast.
Gotta go at a decent pace. So Tom, I have to ask you, do you get all the Super Emeralds in this run?
Oh yes, and I abused the shit out of both Super and Hypersonic.
Oh.
We're going to have to listen to that music for a good 20 minutes.
You don't actually have to, because when you get to the Knuckles sections, obviously once you get all the Chaos Emeralds, if you don't get any of the Super Emeralds, once you reach Doomsday Zone, you will just turn Super. So it is possible to complete this game as Super Sonic and not Hypersonic.
That's how I usually do it these days, because, to be honest, these special stages are old to me. They're just muscle memory.
It's quicker, and also I prefer it because at this point in the canon there is no Hypersonic, so I like to stay true to my Sega canon and stay Super.
Guys, let's exhaust over the Sonic canon for a good few minutes.
This is the last game before he was given green eyes. Fuck you, Sega!
This is the last game in the True series for me.
What game did come out directly after 3 and K?
Well, technically 3D Blast, but that's not part of the main series canon, so we can ignore it. The next
You mean
proper
Sonic's
game.
isometric adventure?
Exactly.
Pseudo 3D Blast.
Sonic Marble Madness.
Hey, Knuckles! Hey, if you give me 50 rings, I'll give you a Chaos Emerald.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Both Knuckles and Tails are like, yeah, I ain't taking you unless you pay me. But we have to save the Flickies. Fuck that shit, man. You're not gonna get paid. I got to get paid and laid.
But we gotta stop Robotnik. Nah, give me my money, man.
We don't live here. Fuck the Flickies. Knuckles and Tails are getting rich off the extortion of the Flicky race. Bastards. What do Knuckles and Tails do with those rings?
Use it to buy more rings, of course.
They use it on extreme gear.
I think you realise we've exhausted an entire game's worth of commentary for 3D Blast now.
Well, to be fair, I don't. Why would you do it? You might as well just do Green Grove Zone and call it a day. Because the rest of the levels are exactly the fucking same.
Put Green Grove Zone in like 7 times.
Just put a video of Sonic 3D Blast in the corner, it's the same thing.
Yeah, no, just do Green Grove, but on each different zone put a slight colour tint. Oh, it's grey here, it must be Rusty Ruin Zone. Oh, it's blue here, it must be Diamond Dust.
Green Grove Ruin, Green Grove Spring Stadium.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Every time Skylar says, yeah, he sounds like Christopher Walken.
We are not going through that again.
No, because you're Christopher Walken. I saw that video and all of those Christopher Walken impressions were so bad I stabbed my eardrums with a knife.
Well, sorry to hear about that.
Steven does the best Christopher Walken.
You gotta do what a hedgehog's gotta do. Time to juice and cut it loose.
How about we actually fucking talk about the game?
Okay, so Sonic. So okay, Tom just hit a checkpoint. All right.
You asshole, Stephen. Now, this part of the commentary is where Stephen Sky and FDA proceeded to act like game grumps and scream for about 30 seconds, so I had to cut that out and put a little clip of me just saying random bullshit here. So I hope you enjoy this. 3 and K is better than Sonic 2. Sonic Adventure 2 are dated, but I still enjoy them. Colors is better than Generations. Other opinions about the Sonic franchise. And that should just about do it, really.
I will say to get back to this, which of the shields was your favorite for Sonic?
Electric.
Really? For me, I love fire. I mean, fire is probably the hardest to like use effectively, but I just love the when you like blast through something.
I'll have to go with the electric shield as well.
Yeah, I hate how in Generations they call it the Thunder Shield. It's not thunder, it's lightning.
I'm trying my hardest to keep up with Tom here, but it's not that easy.
I will say the Backbone port that they use for the Xbox Live PS3 downloads and the Mega Drive Ultimate Collection really fucked up the sound effects for those bombs dropping. It sounds abysmally bad. It sounds so bad in that collection.
Oh, hey there, Sonic. Just been busy blowing up Angel Island.
Blaming it on you. Knuckles won't know a thing. You know, actually, now that I think about it, Knuckles is going to be right there after this boss. You'd think he would see this happening!
No, Tom, please tell me you break the game at this point. It is possible after Knuckles drops the drawbridge to jump up and land back on this platform, and the game will just stay there for as long as you so choose.
That would imply that I have pro skills, Gareth, so no, unfortunately. We'll see you all next time in part 2 of the Sonic 3 and Knuckles playthrough. See you then.